Also tonight, we're now officially on day 3 of Congressman Eric Swalwell dodging questions about whether or not he had some type of romantic sexual relationship with a Chinese spy. A new bombshell Axios report, a so-called, quote, they call it honey trap, working as an asset for the communist Chinese named Christina Fang, had years-long relationship with Swalwell. She bundled donations for him, even placed an intern in his congressional office. 2015, Swalwell, apparently, because he's a Democrat, cut ties with Christina Fang after the FBI provided him with a defensive briefing about this, quote, honey trap, who was accused of pursuing sexual relations with multiple politicians. Rick Grinnell telling us last night that it's much deeper than any of us even know now. For 4 long years, Swalwell has been one of the biggest Russia collusion hoaxers in the entire country and truthers. And over again, he's accused the president of being compromised by Russia. And he lied, just like the corrupt, congenital liar Adam Schiff, and he even launched accusation at members of the president's family. You might remember, Eric. Take a look.
Stated plainly, the president's son met with a Russian spy. We now have the best evidence of that. In our minority report, the Democrats put out that Ms. Veselnitskaya was going all over the world. Now we know that she was working at the behest of the Russian government. The president's son, Nicole, met with a Russian spy.
Well, you might have been dating a Chinese spy. How about answering some questions? Anyway, turns out he might have even had sexual relationships with a Chinese spy. So what does that make you, Eric? An unwitting or a witting asset of the communist Chinese? Oh, now you're all of a sudden, for the first time in your adult life, you're going to be quiet? Very serious matter, and Swalwell serves on the powerful House Intel Committee. That's where members have access, to America's most classified secrets. If there was pillow talk, that's a problem. And as Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy points out, this is a big problem. Democrats, they're trying to sweep it under the rug with a massive double standard. Take a look.
This is a national security threat. The Intel Committee does not meet in normal chambers. They meet in what is called a SCIF to protect from people listening in on what they're talking about. They're getting secrets that other members of Congress never are able to see. When did Nancy Pelosi know of this? And why did she maintain him on the committee? Adam Schiff, who has spent 4 years as chair, worried about the foreign intervention into our country, knowingly keep an individual on the committee if he knew, as Swalwell says, that he was with a Chinese individual who was a spy.
Now, we did reach out to the corrupt, congenital liar, compromise one, Adam Schiff, for comment. As you can imagine, we didn't get a response. He doesn't really like us. And, of course, Schiff, we know, remember all the talk about Russia? He's the one guy that got caught on tape thinking he's talking to a Russian and conspiring to get information to use in a campaign. Remember that whole phone call about, oh, well, we got compromising materials on Donald Trump. What's the nature of the compromise? Pictures of naked Trump. Does Vladimir know? Remember the whole thing? Well, there's no evidence that a foreign spy has been willing to get in bed with Mr. Schiff. He was caught, on tape getting, well, kind of played by a hoaxer posing as a Russian asset, saying they had pictures of naked Trump, compromising materials. Well, anyway, in other words, caught on tape, colluding, another way to put it. Tonight, the Swalwell scandal continues to unfold. Several main questions remain. Do you trust the judgment of a guy who had a years-long relationship with a Chinese spy? And why the hell is he anywhere near the House Intelligence Committee? And according to the Daily Caller, Swalwell actually spoke at a 2013 event that also featured the Chinese spy who once worked in the office of Senator Feinstein. Well, the event was put together by, you guessed it, Christina Fang, the girl that he might have been dating, the spy he might have dated, the spy who may have loved him. Here with reaction, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy. I can joke a little bit about it, but there's nothing funny. This guy's on the House Intel Committee. They have access to top secrets. I'm not even sure if you get briefed on a lot of this stuff.
Well, I'm one of the Gang of Eight. I do. Remember what the Intel Committee does. It not only keeps, it sees America's secrets. This is Swalwell, who's been conned by the communists. He was compromised, but what's worse is Speaker Pelosi has covered for him. This goes much deeper than just Swalwell. When you think about it, if the Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, and Adam Schiff knew this and kept him on the committee, that raises a very big question. It also raises a question when the Democrats backed out of the bipartisan China task force. Now it raises questions, why would they do that? Yeah. What's most interesting is the Chinese has really focused on Northern California, Silicon Valley. Dianne Feinstein, for 2 decades, her body person, the person driving, hearing all of her phone calls, a communist spy. This wasn't that Swalwell went to the FBI. The FBI went to him, knowing that because they picked up on this Chinese spy following her. And the Speaker knew about it, and Adam Schiff. It raises more questions. Now when we come into the new Congress on January 3rd, the Democrats don't just vote for who's going to become Speaker. If you vote for Nancy Pelosi, you're now voting to put Adam Schiff back on the intel and Swalwell. And now you know this information too. So you better watch how you vote.
Well, let me ask you about comments going back to the election and 106 members now supporting this lawsuit by the Texas Attorney General. And more importantly, of all the 27 toss-up races, your side won 27 of them. Now, there have been big problems in the state of New York. This week alone, we got another, last week 55 ballots. Now it's, another 40 ballots. There's a 12-vote advantage for the Republicans, Claudia Tenney. Between District 19 and District 22, a lot of crap is going on in New York, and they're still finding ballots 5 weeks later?
Yeah. You know what we found out? We're ahead by 12 votes. Then they just came forward and said, oh, we just found 12 ballots in this drawer. What is going on with New York? 12.
Where have they been for 5 weeks? You just find ballots, you open up, you're going to make coffee. Oh, I found some ballots here. Sorry, I got to hand them in.
The biggest mismanagement of any state is New York. They put ballots out to everybody, meaning when they have a roll, people are dead. People haven't lived there before. But this is what Cuomo wanted to do, sending to everybody. And now we had Claudia Tenney ahead by tens of thousands of votes. Now you're down to 12. And how many more drawers are going to be open every time they see the Republican in the lead?
Okay, so do you think you're going to hold that seat? And is there anything the Republicans can do to stop these states? Can we get real one standard of signature verification in Georgia? Can in the state of Pennsylvania, can we stop the Democrats from making new laws while the election is going on, or the legislature passing things that are unconstitutional based on their state constitution, or if they don't allow early voting in Wisconsin, can we insist that they not hand out 200,000 ballots like they did?
Or watch what they did in California as well. Election law really goes by state. This is where we have to mobilize and get involved within the state, never allowing this to move forward again. What we found, though, is you were correct. We did not lose one incumbent. How is in Congress that when they predicted that we were going to lose 15 to 20 seats, then now we're sitting at 212, maybe 213, 5 seats away from the majority? The Senate was supposed to lose. Schumer saying it. No, we did not lose the Senate, and we're going to win Georgia. The state legislatures were supposed to lose. No, we actually picked up 3. And now they're saying we lost the presidency. These are the questions of why every legal challenge should be heard. Do you believe it?
Because I don't believe it. I think the 83% of Gallup and the 77% of Quinnipiac, I think it stinks to high heaven, and everybody can see it now.
Every single poll was wrong. But what we found is you trust the American public. Look at what this Republican Party did inside the House. Nancy Pelosi was literally days before saying she's going to win 15 seats. She's holding on by a thread. And remember, when you come to vote on opening day, you have to be there. And Nancy Pelosi had 15 Democrats vote against her last time. 10 of them are coming back. If all 10 vote against her, she will not be Speaker.
Okay, that'll be interesting. And by the way, the Supreme Court needs to stand on the law and the Constitution. And these states, they've made their mess. Make them go back and fix it. That's what should happen. All right. Thank you, sir.